My life during junior high was, well, simply put, a living hell. Every day, well, heck, every hour was an occasion to be bullied. At the bus stop, on the bus, in the hallways, in the classrooms, in the locker room, in the boys' room. Well, I only went there once in junior high, and that was enough. And then at the end of the day, it got to repeat itself in reverse. On the bus, on the way home, on the paper route, walking down the street, going to the store. It was always there. Most days I simply wanted to die. It was physical. I was beaten. I had bruises and burns and cuts. It was pranks, malicious stuff. It was getting tripped in the hall, knocking books out of your arms. And then there was the verbal stuff. That in many ways was cut deeper. I complained, but I was told by the principal, boys would be boys. Well, that's fine, but what about the girls? They were sometimes worse. I consoled myself, someday I would get revenge. I would remember and take back everything that they had stolen from me. They would pay dearly. Well, I got to senior high and college, and revenge wasn't such a big deal. But I didn't forget. I've remembered every single moment, every torment. It was though it happened yesterday. Those people. Fast forward, 25th reunion. I enter the restaurant, and there they are. Many of them. And suddenly, I am their long-lost friend. They couldn't be friendlier. They buy me drinks. They want to engage in conversation. Don't they remember? Where are the apologies? Where's the remorse? It's as though junior high never happened for them. I was so angry by the end of the night, I vowed I would never return. And I didn't. Oh, I know Jesus said to forgive. But let's get real. Forgive them. And even if I do say, well, yeah, I forgive them, I'm not going to forget. I remember. All too well, I remember. And so I stayed true to my promise. When the next reunion rolled around, I didn't go near it. And then days later, I found out that one of my best and dearest friends and high school's mother had died there in town over that weekend. And because I wasn't at the reunion, I didn't know it. I couldn't be there for her. And I felt absolutely horrible. It was a great lesson in forgiveness. Who do we actually hurt when we fail to forgive? Do you think for a moment that because of our unforgiveness, we inflict pain and sorrow on those that have hurt us? Dream on, folks. They don't even care. The only people we hurt are ourselves and our loved ones that have to deal with all our angst and anxiety, all the stuff that we carry around with us because we can't let it go. Jesus talks so much about forgiveness that we might experience healing, that we might be made whole once again. For our unforgiveness just eats at us. It weighs us down. It affects our health. It affects our emotional well-being. It affects our relationships. It kills us. Or at least puts us in a living hell. Which brings me to the second part of this forgiveness business. Jesus tells an interesting parable. It's about a man who owes the king a great sum of money. He goes to the king and he begs forgiveness of the debt. The king forgives him. And then he goes out and has one of his debtors who owes a paltry sum come to him and ask for forgiveness of the debt, and he refuses. The king finds out. Long and short is the guy and those of us like him end up in hell. It's scary for us who don't forgive to think about that. But then again, aren't we already in hell? Because we can't forgive. And that's where that second part comes in. You see, God has already forgiven us. And so our forgiveness starts with us, forgiving ourselves, for being so stupid, for allowing these things to happen. And the list goes on and on. We begin forgiveness here, with ourselves. Because after all, if God has forgiven us, do you think you might be able to forgive yourself? And once we do that, then that other forgiveness stuff gets a little easier. And wholeness, well, grace can be a wonderful gift. A gift of life. So let's try to practice a little forgiveness and begin at home with yourself and then move on and see where it leads.